Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Shri Srimad Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Kantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the Summa devotees. All glories to the Summa devotees. All glories to the Summa devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so today we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, entitled Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 11, Swayambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj. And we're on text 18. Does anybody have? Okay. Yeah, I'll just read the Sanskrit and then word by word and then English. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the meter. Sakal vidam bhagavan kala shaktya guna pravahena vibhakta virya karotya kartaiva nihantya hanta cheshta vibhumna kalu dhruvibhavya. Saha the kalu, however, idam, this universe, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Kala, of time, Shaktya, by the force, Gunapravahena, by the interaction of the modes of nature, Vibhakta, divided, Viryaha, whose potencies, Karoti, acts upon, Akarta, the non-doer, Eva, although, Nihanti, kills, Ahanta, non-killer, Cheshta, the energy, Vibhumnaha, of the Lord, Kalu, certainly, Durvibhavya, inconceivable. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable supreme energy, time, causes the interaction of the three modes of material nature and thus varieties of energy become manifest. It appears that he is acting, but he is not the actor. He is killing, but he is not the killer. Thus it is understood that only by his inconceivable power is everything happening. Purport. The word durvabhavya means inconceivable by our own tiny brain, and vibhakta viryaha means divided in varieties of potencies. This is the right explanation of the display of creative energies in the material world. We can better understand the mercy of God by an example. A government state is always supposed to be merciful, but sometimes, in order to keep law and order, the government employs its police force, and thus punishment is meted out to the rebellious citizens. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always merciful and full of transcendental qualities. But certain individual souls have forgotten their relationship with Krishna and have endeavored to lord it over material nature. As a result of their endeavor, they are involved in varieties of material interaction. It is incorrect to argue, however, that because energy issues from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the actor. In the previous verse, the word nimitta matram indicates that the Supreme Lord is completely aloof from the action and reaction of this material world. How is everything being done? The word inconceivable has been used. It is not within the power of one's small brain to comprehend. And thus one accepts the inconceivable power and energy of the Lord, one cannot make any progress. The forces which act are certainly set up by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is always aloof from their action and reaction. The varieties of energies produced by the interaction of material nature produce the varieties of species of life and their resultant happiness and unhappiness. How the Lord acts is nicely explained in the Vishnu Purana. Fire is situated in one place, while the heat and light produced by the fire act in many different ways. Another example given is that the electrical powerhouse is situated in one place, but by its energies many different types of machinery move. The production is never identical with the original source of the energy. But the original source of energy, being the prime factor, is simultaneously one with and different from the product. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva is the perfect way of understanding. In this material world, the Lord incarnates in three forms as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, by which he takes charge of the three modes of material nature. By his incarnation of Brahma, he creates; as the incarnation of Vishnu, he maintains; and by his incarnation of Shiva, he also annihilates. But the original source of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, Kabadakshaya Vishnu, is always apart from these actions and reactions of material nature. Om Ganatibadandasya Gananshana Shalakaya Chakshulan Malitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Bhagam Karidvachalam Bhangam Lam Gaite Gadam Yakipa Tamaham Hande Shri Gurun Dinitaninam Vansha Kapadribhishcha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation again. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable supreme energy, time, causes the interaction of the three modes of material nature, and thus varieties of energy become manifest. It appears that he is acting, but he is not the actor. He is killing, but he is not the killer. Thus it is understood that only by his inconceivable power everything is happening. So, So, Krishna, by his different energies, is allowing things to go on, or things not to go on. So, for example, Prabhupada's talking about Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So Brahma, he's the engineer of the universe. He's creating everything, getting it going. And then Shiva's the destroyer. When everything is getting towards its end, he destroys it, the universe. And then Vishnu is the maintainer. So, but behind all of this and behind everything is Krishna. So it may seem that Krishna is, in one sense, personally doing these things, and you could say in one sense he is, but he's engaging his energies in doing them. So he's, like it says here, it appears that he is acting, but he's not the actor. Others are doing it. He's killing, but he's not the killer. Thus it is understood that only by his inconceivable power everything is happening. So by his supreme energy of time, things take birth, or people or bodies, right? They come into being, and then also by time, the influence of time, they cease to exist. And that goes with everybody's body, whether one is in the lower species of life, a soul in the lower species of life, or whether they're a demigod, or whether they're a human being. Every body dies. The physical body ceases to exist. So an intelligent person, they want to utilize their human form of body in the most, you could say, beneficial way for them to reach the supreme benefit, and also to use it for the proper mission. Everything has a purpose. So whether you take the microphone has a purpose. You speak into it, and it helps, right, broadcast sound or amplify sound. The kartals, you play the kartals in a kirtan. So if you take the microphone and you want to use it as a hammer, you could do it, but it's not really made for that. Or you want to, take the microphone and use it to stir some soup. You could do it, it'll probably work to some degree, but it's not really made for that. So similarly, the human body, it could be used for so many things. But what is the real purpose of it? All of the lower species of life, they have the same, practically speaking, abilities that a human has. Namely, sense gratification, or gratification of the senses, or fulfilling the urges of the senses. To the urge to see, and to taste, and to hear, and all these different things. So a soul in a human body who uses their body simply for that is considered to be wasting their human form of life. And many people do that. I mean, most people do that, unfortunately. And really, when it comes down to it, the lower species, you could say, are even better designed for that. There's certain animals who could eat a lot more than humans, most humans. There's animal, etc. Just the different things that humans do, animals could do better or more. So a human soul in a human form, if they're fortunate, if they're intelligent, then they want to use the human form for something that the animals can't use it for, and that is namely self-realization or God realization or Krishna consciousness. And yeah, we only have so much time in a particular body, maximum 100 years usually. I mean, sometimes people go over, like we were at somebody's house last night, Nam Shravans, and he was saying his mother lived till she was 105 in India. She just passed away recently. But usually people don't do that. It's about 100 or less. So, and out of all that time that one has that one is in this body, so much of that time is used for maybe used for not things that are directly Krishna conscious. Or, yeah, I mean, there's certain duties we have to do in this world that may not be directly connected to Krishna consciousness. So that's there. And then what to speak of sleep? We all sleep every day, every night, usually 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever. So that also, you could say, is time spent outside of Krishna consciousness, usually. Sleep is usually not Krishna conscious. So you have sleep, you have duties directly not connected with Krishna, eating, of course, if we're taking prasadam, this and that, but there's so many things that you could say are not directly full-on meditation, absorption in Krishna, usually. So really when it comes down to it, how much time do we actually have? It says if one sleeps 12 hours a day, that means they're sleeping half of their day. There's 24 hours in a day. And if one lives 100 years, that means they're sleeping for 50 years of their life. That's a long time. And how beneficial is it? I mean, materially speaking, anybody who's very productive materially, they don't sleep. Or they do sleep, but they don't sleep. They may not sleep as much as people who are unproductive, but specifically people who are, but whether one's a materialist or a spiritualist, not much progress is made while one is sleeping. How much money can you make while you're sleeping? What do you think? Not that much. You can't make any. Maybe you dream, but you dream you made a lot of money, but you. So when you're sleeping, how much, how often, because you can make spiritual progress while you're sleeping actually, but how often are we actively in our dreams thinking of Krishna consciousness? Usually it's other things, and usually we may not even remember what we're, just maybe like no dreaming. So the point is to use the waking hours in Krishna consciousness as far as possible. And in this way, we, instead of being defeated by time or defeated by the illusory energy of Krishna, which is different from time, but it's another energy, we could be successful, or we could conquer it by Krishna's mercy. And in this way we could actually be set free in this life and also in our next life. And set free means we fully develop our lost loving relationship with Krishna. And no longer are we in the category of souls who have forgotten their relationship with Krishna and who are endeavoring to lord it over this material world, which is the biggest mistake. Because everybody who tries to lord it over this material world, they're never really successful. Means ultimately successful. And they're always defeated by time, by old age, by disease, by anxiety. There may be very big personalities within this world, whether they're famous for barking like a dog, or they're famous for singing on American Idol. They still have that, American Idol? You don't know? Good. They're famous for whatever, pulling a train with their teeth. They're famous for, I don't know, so many different things. Being wonderful movie actors or actresses, or they're famous for their beauty or whatever it is. But over time, what does all that really matter? Or what does all that actually become? It doesn't really become anything. It literally ceases to exist. So in other words, it's all temporary, and they're defeated. And there's so many cases of them that, most of them actually, in most cases, they all fall down into some type of scandal or some type of anxiety or drug addiction, in which they have to go to rehab and so many different things. Of course, not all of them, but a lot of them. But even if they're in the mode of goodness, they're just good people, and they're famous for whatever they're famous for, still, in the course of time, they're disease, old age, and then. So for a devotee, we want to realize that we're the soul. We want to realize that there's Krishna, and that we have a relationship with Krishna. And the best way to do that is to strive to stop lording it over material nature, which means practically to become a servant. And a servant means not just a servant of Krishna. It means a servant of Krishna's devotees. And not just a servant of Krishna's devotees. It actually means a servant of everybody. And we serve everybody differently. I mean, we serve Krishna in a particular way. We serve, like for example, we offer arti to Krishna. Incense and flowers and other articles. But we're not going to go walk down the alley and see a homeless person there with his shopping cart and, packed up with a bunch of valuable items according to him or her. And maybe they haven't bathed in some time, and they haven't changed their clothes for a while. Sometimes, a lot of them do that, I've noticed. So we're not going to go to them and pull out a stick of incense and a ghee lamp and a flower and start offering them, arti, and offer obeisances to them. We're just not going to do that. You could try, but see what their reaction is. But we may serve. So we serve Krishna in a particular way. We serve them in a particular way. We may walk by Hare Krishna. We say Hare Krishna to them. We give them some prasadam, something like that. And then there's different devotees. We serve them differently, different ways. We may encourage devotees by talking with them, more or less like a mentor. We may serve them by, for example, if one's a mother or a father or has some children somehow or other that are in their care, they could cook nice prasadam, offer to Krishna, give that to them. They're serving like that. So there's so many ways we serve the general public by book distribution and Harinam in different ways. So yeah, it's not just Krishna, but it's devotees, it's everybody. And in this way, one can give up their false conception of being a lord or a master or an enjoyer of this material world, which is practically speaking, the main source of all problems, of not being in the mood of a servant, not forgetting Krishna and trying to just dominate and exploit people and the planet and everybody and everything within our vision as far as possible. So yeah, the idea is to give up that and to strive to be a servant of Krishna, a servant of devotees, servant of everybody. And in this way, we will not be defeated by the different energies of Krishna, the material energies. Illusory energy, time, and so on. So we'll be successful. So does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Trying to connect it. All right. Yeah, so I mean, just like Krishna, he comes to this world, but he's not really of this world. So in other words, when he comes to this world, it's not that he's affected by it. He doesn't have to suffer like ordinary people have to suffer with whatever pain, general pain, whether it's pain from the natural, disasters, tornadoes and hurricanes and cold weather and hot weather and so on, sickness. He doesn't have to suffer like that. So when it says that Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva they're in charge of particular aspects of the world, but they're not really influenced like ordinary people. That's the difference. But Paramatma, it's Krishna, like an expansion of Krishna, and Paramatma is in everybody's heart. So it says it's the four-armed form of Vishnu in everybody's heart, which accompanies the soul. And it's not directly Krishna, it's an expansion of Krishna. And the Paramatma is there to guide, to give intelligence, to sanction certain things that we want to do. But it says that this Paramatma is always waiting there for the soul to turn towards him. So, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Vishnu, just like, for example, it says that the super soul is actually in every atom, everywhere. So things are being maintained actually by Krishna. He's maintaining it, and through his energies. Like, for example, the sun shining. So Krishna or Vishnu, behind that, there's personalities who are making sure all this is going on. It says that the wind blows in fear of Krishna. The sun is shining, everything. So everything's going on, being maintained by Krishna. So, and if it's not maintained by Krishna, like Brahma, he creates it, the whole universe, and then it's maintained by Krishna. So if it's not maintained by Krishna, everything just falls apart. The sun stops shining, or it, gets a little closer, burns everything. The moon, whatever, doesn't come out at night, and so on. The ocean, doesn't stop at a particular point, just keeps on going. So it's all being maintained by Krishna. What to speak of the rain coming and the vegetables growing? I mean, vegetables grow from rain. They don't grow from anything else. The rain coming, vegetables, grains, so everything's going on, being maintained by Krishna. And Shiva, at a particular time, he destroys it all. Yeah, by dancing. He does his Tandava Nritya. Nritya means dance, and Tandava means destruction. So it's a dance in which he does, and he just destroys everything. It says it's burned, and then it's flooded, and then there's wind, and there's everything. So, and it says he smokes ganja at that particular point. But in general, he doesn't smoke ganja, but at that particular point, when he needs to destroy, he smokes ganja. So they're all of his followers, they say, hey, Lord Shiva smokes ganja, so I'm going to do it too. And a lot of them smoke. But he does it. We could do some further investigation, but as far as I remember, that was the time he does it. Only time. To get into the mood. No, I don't know why, but so you're welcome. Does anyone have any other questions, comments? What's for breakfast? I can tell you what's for breakfast. Khichdi. Khichdi's for breakfast, and it's made by Jamal Krishna Goswami. All right, so there's a Mahagaur Pranim Festival in Laguna Beach. It's about an hour and a half away. Devotees are supposed to leave in about 10 minutes. And there'll be prasadam to go, khichdi. I don't know what containers devotees will use, but hopefully it's not too, anyways, liquidy. And yeah, big festival up there. Starts at 10 a.m. His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, His Holiness Giraj Swami, a bunch of devotees, a lot of old-timers. Yeah, newsletter. A lot of old-timers, a few newcomers, a few new faces, probably. Nothing wrong with old-timers, they're good. All right. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.